Okay, guys, we're back with Doc and the Boxer, episode 57. Doc,
Yes.
Boxer, and we're what a fight this weekend, the weekend that passed, and
Yeah.
what a win for boxing, a win for boxing.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
which we
And
needed.
yeah. Yeah. Definitely. What an entertaining heavyweight fight.
Very entertaining. One of the most entertaining heavyweight fights.
Fucking crazy. Yeah. My
Mhm.
language. That was crazy.
Yeah, it was. It was a great fight. I was standing up for most of the fight. I was standing up like, come on, Fury, come on, come on.
Yeah. Me too. Me too. And I don't
Yeah.
think that was Fury's best fight either.
He looked
I didn't
great.
see. What's that?
Yeah, in the second fight, he looked fabulous, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't that, but also you got to give credit to Wilder for
Yes.
his attack that he had too, and how
Yeah.
he made this fight.
You
Yeah.
got it. You got it.
Okay, so we'll jump right into it because there's a lot we can talk about with this fight being one of the greatest heavyweight fights of all time.
Yep.
Trilogy. There's been many trilogies. We'll go over some of those, and we're talking about the T-Mobile Arena. 15,820 fans in Las Vegas. Tyson, the Gypsy King Fury, improves to 31-0, one draw with a KO in the 11th over Deontay Bronze Bomber Wilder, 42-2-1. So just quickly after putting Wilder down on the canvas in the third round, Fury found himself on the floor twice in the fourth.
Yeah.
Fury regrouped, put Wilder down in the 10 before delivering a couple big knockdowns, and that was it. Fight was over.
Finished it off in the 11th.
11th round. So let's speak about what your thoughts for Doc on this fight.
Yeah, so I'll just make one point, respond, we'll go back.
Okay.
Okay, so Wilder comes in at the heaviest weight he's been at. So why? That's what I don't understand.
He had to combat. I know he was showing him bench pressing on the bench press 300 whatever pounds, and bench press don't do that much. But because he had to combat Fury's weight, Fury is like 277. And in order to, and we'll get into what Wilder said about how Fury uses weight. You put that weight on somebody, that's a big weight. It's gonna really it saps energy from you.
It does, but it also saps energy when you're a lot heavier than you normally are too.
Yeah, true.
And then you got a big guy leaning on you.
Yeah.
With your own weight. I mean, that adds up. Yeah. I'm not sure, but I understand what you're saying. I do. I get it.
Can I just say quickly? It was Fury that weighed 277, Wilder at 238. Okay. Yeah. Anyways, you're saying.
Yeah. Big, and so
big. Yeah.
He was pretty big, Fury, and I think that showed. I think he was in excellent condition.
Yeah.
Regardless of the weight, because obviously he must have been, because he carried his power into the 11th round.
Right.
So he must have been in good shape. But being 277, you didn't see as much head movement from him, as much upper body movement, as much angle stepping around. You didn't see that like you've seen in previous Fury fights.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean, you may have a case that there might have been, but it was still a performance that was. Look at the combat and attack like Wilder had. Wilder's his back's against the ropes in this fight, coming into this fight, that he has to do something like big in order to beat this guy, and nothing worked. Like, he got knocked down twice. He got up. Like, look at the heart of Fury. You gotta give that guy so much credit. The heart is just, he gets knocked down, he gets back up. And most people get hit with that shot from Wilder are not getting up again.
No, absolutely not. And that's a testament to Fury for sure. Now, the first round, Wilder is throwing jabs to the body. Everything went to the body in the first round. I thought, ooh, I like this.
Good strategy. Louis Scott and
slow down the movement. How? Go to the body. After the first round, comes out in the second round, he's back to his old ways. He completely abandoned it.
He abandoned it, and then went back to the Wilder.
Yeah, you can't switch trainers and suddenly bang, you see a change.
Yeah, I mean,
it
does, but if he was disciplined enough to keep that going, like that stab to the body, the long right hand was going to the body, touching the body, keeping Fury away from him and stuff. If he was disciplined enough to sustain that, he would have been way better off. But
but people revert too.
Right. People revert to what their instincts are. Like, let's fight. I'm good at that.
Yeah. And it's a shame because after that first round, I thought, okay, I'm seeing something. I'm seeing an implementation of a strategy.
Yeah.
I was hoping for at least 6 rounds that he would continue that, because if he had, I think that would have had a bigger impact on the fight. Just keep going to the body, go to the body.
Yeah.
But he abandoned it pretty quick.
Yeah. And so just like, because there's been talk on different social media things and whatever, like these guys in the past would have knocked these guys like Fraser and stuff. They would have knocked out these guys. These guys are like, their conditioning wasn't that good. And like, maybe there's a case Wilder, his conditioning didn't look great. Like after the third where fourth, he was like a zombie. Like he was a walking zombie.
Pretty early on,
right?
I agree. He just looked winded.
Yeah. I mean, always dangerous for sure, because he got that knockout power, of course. And he showed that with those later knockdowns, 2 in 1 round. On Fury.
In the fourth.
In the fourth, Mike Tyson basically, he says it, and I think this really sums up the whole Fury Wilder trilogy fight. He goes, Fury Wilder will go down as one of the greatest, not for the skill, but for the action and excitement. The fight was all guts, heart, and determination. Everybody wants to have that night. The fight was bigger than the hype. Both of them reached all-time great status.
Yeah, I gotta agree with that.
Yeah,
I gotta agree with that. I think in other fights he's been more technical, Fury. But again, this was a pretty phenomenal fight of two guys in their prime, each bringing a different skill set, and one skill set negating the other skill set. And Tyson Fury, man, I don't know why he's not in the pound for pound conversation.
I know, you're right, he's not.
I can't figure it out. First of all, I think he's one of the greatest heavyweights ever.
You got to see that. Look at he beat Klitschko. And Klitschko was still at the height of his career.
Yeah.
And he went over there and beat him.
Yeah, in his own in his own
country.
Right. Yeah. So I that's why I can't figure out why he's not in the pound for pound conversation too. He should be.
He should.
He's a high caliber fighter. I mean,
he's very entertaining. Look at the charisma, and look at a personality that's great for boxing. He's fantastic to listen to. He's everything about him exudes excitement.
Yeah, totally. The way he knows how to hype up the fight in the press conference.
Yeah. Come on, Dasa.
What is Dosser? What does that even mean?
I gotta look. It's a British word though, man.
Yeah,
Obviously, right? It's like a
yeah,
British term.
yeah.
Uh,
True.
I don't know. I don't know I gotta check that out
What
for
did you
sure.
think about at the end of the fight when Fury went over, to say congratulations, great fight,
Yeah.
and Wilder just basically blew him off.
Okay, we can jump right into that part
Okay.
of this whole conversation because that's actually a big part of that because actually there has I haven't even seen any footage of that time at the end of the fight because they haven't shown it till I think today was on social media. They're showing exactly when Tyson Fury is going over to Deontay's corner after 11. They stop it, whatever, and he's sitting down on his stool and Tyson was going over to him and saying like respect and Jenny's like no man, he's like no respect, no respect. While I was saying that, so, and he was brushing him off like that. And Fury was irate. If Fury started talking to Shelly Finkel is Wilder's promoter, and started telling him, was like, look, I'll beat him once already, and there's no need for this, and that I thought it was, I thought it was very poor sportsmanship. But then I started reading some stuff, and maybe there's a case here. So let me just read this out, Doc. This is Teddy Atlas on Wilder's refusal to shake hands with Tyson Fury after that belt. I'm not saying don't be a gentleman. I'm not saying that, but there's something to be said about being too gracious, giving it up too easily, too casually, as though it's not that important. And there's something to be said about that. And also, there's something to be said about this man was concussed. You don't need a doctor or a CT scan to tell you that Wilder was concussed. And those shots that he took were big shots, right? From a big man, 277, that's doing some damage. He was concussed, and I have to do that when you're concussed. I'm not making excuses for him, but that is part of what we're talking about. Being in the scenario of this right now, that he just came off a terrible beating, a brutal fight, and maybe you need to give a guy like that a little bit of time, and a little bit of time to find the noble part of him that's shown in fighting. So you understand what
Yeah,
he's saying there, right?
I do, and I totally disagree.
I do
I
too. I do too.
Let's look at that. So the first
Okay.
thing he said, right, was
Mm.
about being too gracious, or there's a time.
Mm-hmm.
This was the third fight. I
Yeah.
get it if it's the first fight. I get it. Right? Because then there's a rematch, and it's like, no. I'm going to be fighting you again. I don't need to show you respect, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? I get that. I get
Yeah.
that in the first fight. But this is the third fight.
Yeah.
So I negate what Teddy, and I respect Teddy Atlas,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I don't really agree
It's
with
not in
but
his temperament.
I disagree with that. Now, number two, he said he was concussed, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what about Ward Gaddy? Every fight they had, both guys, especially Gaddy, took beatings. I mean, you see his head flying around. He was for sure concussed, way like crazy.
Yeah.
Think about all those shots he took in the three fights.
Good point.
They were always gracious to each other after the fight.
Very
and
much so.
How many times you see a fight where a guy gets knocked out cold? Not like Wilder.
Yeah.
But he's unconscious.
Yeah.
Gets up, gets in the corner, sits on the stool after the fight, goes over to the guys, says, great fight. You got it. So I don't buy it. I don't buy it. After a war like that, you nut up.
Yeah.
You nut up and you show some respect to the guy that just gave you a great fight and helped you make a shitload of dough too.
Yeah, a lot, right? 20.
Yeah.
So you got 20 million for that?
Yeah. So I don't agree with Teddy on that one. I understand where he's coming from, but I don't agree with it. And you've been there. You've been in battles, and you're still respectful to all your opponents.
You got to be. And the thing is like it's not like, like say for example, the Hagler and Leonard, Hagler and Leonard fight, when Leonard got the decision, and Hagler should have probably got it, and Hagler just walked out of the ring and stuff, didn't shake hands, whatever. It's not like that. Like, you got beat up again. Like, yeah, you put up a good fight and stuff, but you got beat up again, and
Yeah.
everything that you said did not come to fruition.
Yeah.
It was all, so that's my point about that.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And I think about the Hagler Leonard thing too. And remember, Hagler wanted to fight him 3 years earlier, right? And he kept putting him off. And then Leonard was a master of the
Wasn't he?
psychological game.
3 years later, he got him.
No wonder Hagler was pissed. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. And you're right. He didn't get the decision, which he probably should have.
Yeah.
And that's a whole different situation.
Do you believe that's like Mayweather? He used to wait till those fighters came out of their prime, and not to any discredit to Mayweather. I mean, one of the greatest ever.
And always gracious after a fight, no matter how much he taunted somebody and bashed them before the fight. Always after the fight, he's the first guy to go over and grab the guy. Yeah,
he is, and then always say in the post-fight interview. First of all, I like to thank God, and second of all, my promoter Bob Arum. That was at the beginning, and then talk about right. He's a businessman. He's smart, and then he'd always plug. Then when it was just him, he was a hell of a fighter. Yeah.
And the other thing is, I mean, we don't know what was going through Wilder's head, but the fact that he made all the excuses in the second fight, it just showed a side of him that was kind of a little bit unpleasant. And then in this last fight, that same character was still there, where he couldn't even say to listen, dude, respect, but I let's talk later.
Yeah, I don't want to talk right now. I don't want to talk right now.
Let's talk later.
Like, I don't respect you. I don't respect you. I don't respect, like, that kind of talk, right?
Yeah. I just think Fury, I really like him. I really like him.
I know. I like this, and then Fury in the fight, final punch stats, Fury landed 385 punches thrown, and Wilder landed 355. Fury that was 39%, Wilder was 20%. 117 total jabs landed by Fury, thrown, and 102 for Wilder. And then I just want to quickly about the jab, because there was a segment, they showed that tidbit there, and they showed, I saw it today because I thought of it right away when Sugar Hill, the nephew of Emmanuel Stewart, was telling him, you gotta throw that fucking jab, man. All you gotta do is throw that jab. Like, he was saying that in between rounds. Then they did the split screen when Lennox Lewis fought Mike Tyson, and Emmanuel Stewart going, you gotta use that jab, man. You gotta get him out of here. You're gonna F around and you're gonna get knocked out.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And they show that split, and right away I'm like, this is Emmanuel Stewart.
Yeah, that was amazing.
That was great.
The ghost of Emmanuel Stewart there.
Yeah.
And Tyson gave him credit. He said, you know what? I knocked him out because of Sugar Hill. I was able to knock him out. What he said to me drove me to knock him out. And that's right. As soon you throw the jab, it's the most important punch in your arsenal.
And then for sure it is. And then especially for the bigger guy. You keep that guy away like that. And you got the longer reach and the more weight. Like, how important is a jab?
It sets it all up. So I like that. I also like I like how Fury gave Sugar Hill credit. I love that.
Yeah, he did. He has been, like, the thing is, like, I was right a little segment before the bout, and then in this fight I said, the first fight I mean, the second fight, and that was a domination by Fury. That Fury only worked 2 months with Javon Sugar Hill. So this time he's got more time to work with Hill, and trainers for sure make a difference. They improve the game, and they help you. They make you, and you can see how Fury is right now. He said Sugar Hill said when we started working with Fury, he was pillow fist. They were just joking around like pillow fist. But now we go for the knockout. We try to knock because that's what Emmanuel Stewart always taught. Knockout, go for the knockout. If you gotta work if you want to work 3 minutes or you want to work 36 minutes.
Right.
You
Right.
know?
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure.
Yeah. So yeah, like the Sugar Hill effect, the Kronk effect here on Wilder. And so now the talk, right? Doc is like, so what's next? What's next for Fury? What's next for Wilder? Well, Wilder today they announced that he's got a 6-month suspension, which is adequate and which is warranted, right? For sure. After after the medical suspension.
Yeah. Plus he has a fracture in one of his
that he in his hand there was a fracture.
Yeah, a metacarpal bone.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he had surgery, it means to me it was a displaced fracture. Yeah. So in other words, if it heals, if the fracture is between my two fingers here, these two fingers, and it's aligned, all they do is they put a cast on.
Oh, okay.
But if it's not aligned then they got to do surgery, and which is what they did to realign it and then cast it. So yeah, that's a little more serious. That's
it's a surgery and then
surgery. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that to me, that's what I read. So to me, that means in the medical profession, anyways, it means that it was probably displaced. The fracture, it wasn't aligned.
Right.
Because normally if you fracture a carpal, that's long bone here, just before the knuckle. That's where he fractured. Right. Yeah. Right around there. Yeah. That usually, if it's aligned, put a cast on, immobilize it. You're fine after 6 weeks. But this one required surgery, so it was probably not lined up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like then we're just talked about the medical suspension. Fury School says like this, like shots like that end careers, and he's talking about the last 2 knockdowns. I just hope that he's okay because he took a lot of punishment tonight. Doc, so with this fight, it was apparently it was the highest gate in heavyweight boxing.
Really? That's a good promotion then.
I think I'm not sure about that because I got the top 5 because actually I didn't find the gate for this, but I heard the gate did really, really good for this fight. I mean 15,000 something whatever fans. I don't know. The top 5. What's your guess, Doc, on top 5 heavyweight gates?
Okay, you gotta have Tyson, Lewis. I imagine that was a big gate. What about Klitschko, Joshua when they fought at Wimbledon? That was like 60,000 people.
Yeah, you're right.
So that would have been right. I think that would have been a big gate. The Tyson Lewis, am I right about that one?
Yeah. So Wilder Fury number 1, their second fight.
Yeah.
That was 16.9 million. Lewis Holyfield 2, 16.8. Holyfield Tyson 2, 14.2. Holyfield Tyson 1, 14.1, and that charade of Mike Tyson, Peter McNeely.
Oh wow.
13.9 million.
Jeez. And then I mean you got to look at also like historically too. If you go further back for the time, I know that Joe Louis, Max Schmeling too. Their second fight had a high gate.
Yeah.
I think it was at Yankee Stadium even. And there was another one too.
Oh, wait. I think this is just Nevada. That's maybe it's
Frazier
Nevada.
Ali. What about Frazier Ali?
Yeah, those are bigger fights. Look at the Chavez Greg Hagen one in the Azteca, Mexico City.
Right.
What, 100 and something thousand fans?
Over 100,000. Yeah.
So this is just Nevada.
Yeah.
The Vegas big fights.
Yeah, but heavyweights, yeah.
And then so Bob Arum says this, promoter of Tyson Fury, Top Rank. I've been in the business 57 years promoting fights, and I truly have to say I've never seen a heavyweight fight as magnificent as this fight. And I would have to agree, like that was a very entertaining fight.
Shit. It was crazy. He gets knocked down twice in the fourth round.
Yeah.
And had him in trouble. Like we still gotta give Wilder some credit, man.
Sure, we sure, but honestly, the credit, the respect that I had for him, and like I'm like, Wilder, like good for him. He's gotten up, he's fighting, he's really entertaining the fans and really giving a good show. But then his refusal at the end to shake the hand and like no respect, man. This that. He threw it out the window for me.
I know. It has such an impact, and he should know that too. His crew should know that. His promoter knows that. But anyways, that's a great fight. Now, what do you think? What do you think about next? First of all, I think Wilder beats Joshua any day of the week. Yeah. I really do. I think Wilder he is number 2. I think he's better than everybody else.
But what about Usyk?
Except Usyk. Usyk. I think, but this is the next intriguing fight.
Yes. I mean, okay, so first we have some unfinished business, but I mean, Usyk, I think is going to do the same thing to Joshua in the rematch. That they're contractually obligated to that rematch. That's happening for sure.
Yes.
Tyson Fury's dad, John Fury, said that his son is not gonna. There's nobody out there in the heavyweight division that can, aside from Usyk. That's the only fight that he wants is that Usyk fight. He doesn't want any other fight. There's no, and it's true. I mean, in the heavyweight division, who is there that's at the top? Like, there's a little bit of talk from people that I know. It's about Andy Ruiz maybe being there, but there's no worthy challenger that is gonna want me to watch Fury against, whoever.
Yeah, I can't outside of Usyk, I can't think of anybody. And I think in the next fight, Usyk is going to win that rematch as well.
Yeah.
I just think his boxing savvy is too much for Joshua. I think, and that relates a lot to Joshua not having a big amateur career.
I mean, the only thing that Joshua has going for him in the rematch is that he did it before with Andrew Ruiz getting knocked out and then coming back and winning. I mean, lackluster win, whatever, but he's shown he's done it before. So maybe there's intrigue on that part, but also there's intrigue because if Joshua loses, he's done, and maybe he can fight Wilder or whatever, and then if Usyk wins. We want to see a Tyson Fury fight, and I mean Fury's too big at 6'9", 277, and this is a cruiserweight coming up.
Yeah,
I can't see it.
I can't see it there.
Fury
goes. See a good fight though.
Yeah,
I can see it being a really good, competitive, technical fight.
You think so?
Yeah, I just because of Usyk's movement. I don't think Tyson Fury has fought a guy that moves like that. So I that doesn't mean I think Usyk's going to win,
Yeah.
but I see it being competitive just because of his savvy, his ring IQ.
Yeah.
He's a smart fighter too.
Oh, definitely. He look what he did with unified champion and cruiserweight Olympic gold medalist. All there's so many accolades that he's had and done. So Tyson Fury says this about what's next for him. He's like, I don't know what's gonna happen. I've got the one fight left on my contract with Top Rank and ESPN, and we'll see after that. But I'm not gonna think about boxing right now. I don't know how many fights I've got left. I don't know if I'm gonna fight anymore. I don't know what the future holds. I'm motivated to get up every morning, do a little bit of training, enjoy the day. I don't have any goals in boxing. I've done everything and won everything. The only one to do it in my era.
Yeah.
So he's hinting like retirement?
The only thing I can say that would keep him from retiring are the belts.
Yeah.
Because then if Usyk wins a rematch and he fights Usyk,
yeah, unified.
the true unification
Yeah.
of all the belts in the heavyweight division. So that's, I think, maybe the only motivation, the main motivation.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think so too. But I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't be surprised if like he just walked away. I mean, it depends. Like, because some fighters they don't just want the glory of winning titles, and they want to be legend status. Like they want to go into the history books as the greatest. And if Fury it thinks that way, and I think he does, then he will stick around, and we will be able to see these other fights.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. I mean, it's so early, so soon after this fight. So I think we're going to have to wait that one out for a wee bit. And especially because when is the Usyk rematch going to be?
That's February? Good. Like, February, March, or April.
2022.
Yeah, 2022.
That's a little ways away.
It is.
Yeah, so we'll hang tight for now.
Yeah.
We'll see.
But anyways, at the end of the day, boxing won in a big way with this fight. Regardless of like I'll admit, like there was sloppiness there and stuff, whatever, of course. But this was a very entertaining fight, and in order to have an entertaining fight, you have to need a good dance partner, and Wilder was a good dance partner here.
Perfect.
Yeah. So we can just go. I didn't put anything down about the other fights on the undercard, but we can quickly talk about the undercard fights, and we can. Which one we talk about first?
I want to talk about the Ajagba fight.
And Frank Sanchez.
So Ajagba, big boy,
knockout puncher.
As a knockout puncher.
Yeah.
I mean, he a feared heavyweight. He even had a fight where the guy, when the bell rang, his opponent walked out of the ring.
Yeah.
Didn't even fight him.
I remember that because there was some discrepancy with the money. And he's like,
so he just walked out.
I'm out of here.
But what it revealed again is that an experienced, technical, smart, good fighter can beat the power puncher. And I was very from the first bell. I was very impressed with Frank Sanchez.
Yeah, me too. Like we gotta throw this guy now
He's in there.
He's a heavyweight threat.
He completely schooled Ajagba. Ajagba didn't win one round. Got KO'd. This guy had speed, smart, good movement.
What did you think about that? What did you think about that one where was Sanchez hit? He hurt Ajagba, and was it Ajagba that went down and Sanchez hit him? Do you remember that part?
Yeah. So his knee didn't touch.
That's like we don't.
That's what I was looking at.
Yeah, it was hard to see, but sometimes it said it did touch.
Yeah,
And he was hit with his knee touch.
We need another angle, but I thought his knee didn't touch, and I when you're in the fight, and why would you second guess that? You gotta go for the finish. So I don't have a problem with it. I really don't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
But this guy has got to be in the mix.
For sure. And look at the school, right? Look at the school with Eddie Reynoso and what another threat, Cuban fighter.
Whew. I like this guy. I bet you some of the prospects and the guys, some of the other top fighters are not going to want to fight this dude.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He's going to have a tough time getting to fight.
Yeah.
That's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah. That's what the fighters do nowadays, right? They avoid each other.
Yeah. Look at Louis Ortiz.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Everyone's avoiding him. Yeah.
So people were afraid to fight him until he lost. Right?
Look quickly because you brought up Ortiz. And remember when Ortiz almost knocked out Wilder?
I do.
Yeah.
That was close, man. That was a close fight.
Yeah, that was close.
Yeah. I think Ortiz, if he was 30 years old, I think that fight would go a little differently. Yeah. But remember, he was like 40, almost 40 when he fought Wilder.
Yeah. That's what's on paper, 40. It might be older.
He might.
Yeah.
These Cuban birth certificates, man. You never know.
Man. You don't know their true age.
So that was a good undercard fight.
Yeah, it was a great undercard. It goes back to those days when Don King promoted those fights where it was like all like the whole undercard is stacked. Like this was another good one.
Yeah. So we got another good one, heavyweights. Then you had like we talked about Berlanga.
Yeah, we had Berlanga, the undefeated KO artist with all first round knockouts aside for the one. But welcome to real boxing, man. This was an eye opener, and he was lucky to get a decision like that. And he better humble himself really quick.
He has to, because before he got rocked like that, he was just coming forward like he usually does. Yeah. And this Argentinian dude, and he's no spring chicken, that Argentinian.
Yeah, he was older.
But he fought a beautiful game plan against a guy like Berlanga. And personally, I thought it could have been a draw, and I wouldn't have been upset if he would have gotten the decision. I just thought he fought really, really well. That was an entertaining fight too.
That was an entertaining fight. Very entertaining.
Yeah.
And then
so what is that like? What do you think? What like potential opponents now for Berlanga after watching that fight? What do you think?
I mean, like, but he's got to revamp everything now. Like he's got to really come down from where he was and be humble and work how you. I mean, like his interviews and stuff, and you see on Instagram and stuff, and he's like with Trinidad, and he's like he needed to. This is what he needed to bring him back down to reality. If he's gonna go any further in the sport, that this is boxing will check you really quick.
And this fight, if he takes the positive route after this fight, this will make him a better fighter.
Yeah. And you can go one of two ways, right?
Right.
He can go start declining.
Yeah.
Like an Adrian Broner type of decline. I mean, not like that, but
No, that's a good analogy. That's a very good analogy, especially when Broner lost to Maidana.
Yeah.
That was a humbling moment for him that he should
have
no humility.
Right. No,
he went back to the old way.
Yeah, exactly.
I think he lost 3 or 4 in a row after that.
Yeah.
Like including that fight. But great fight, very entertaining, man. That was I was up off my seat even for that fight.
Yeah, I was throughout. Yeah, for sure. Because it's always when you have a power puncher, in the Wilder fight, obviously Fury's a big guy too, but they got that eraser and that you would keep your eyes glued to the TV because one shot can end everything.
True.
Yeah.
That was fun. And then you had the fight before that was the Julian Williams fight.
Yeah.
And he lost, and deservedly so. He lost. He gassed out after like the 4th or 5th round, and he was controlling the fight at the beginning.
Yeah. I just had his. Yeah. You're right. And that's 2 losses in a row now for him. And he may fall to the wayside now too.
Yeah, he really didn't look good after the 4th or 5th round, and he looked tired. And then he was trying to, grab and clutch.
Yeah.
But kudos to this dude he fought, Mexican. Yeah. Was he Mexican?
Cosares or
yeah.
Forget how to pronounce it.
Or where was he from? Jeez.
I think probably Argentina, but Doc, you're making me do some.
I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry to put you on the spot.
That's okay.
But that fight, like, Julian was in control the first few rounds. He was putting together nice combinations. He was fighting very, very skillfully, and then it just weathered away. And that guy took good punches. And
Vladimir Hernandez, Mexico, the southpaw too, right?
Yeah.
So that
had a good chin, and I think that Williams got a little bit discouraged that he couldn't put this guy away early.
That's what happens, man. When you're letting your shots go and this guy's still there, it's deterring you.
It just shows you, like, the way boxing is now, you have to be the base. One of the base things that you have to have is conditioning.
Conditioning and chin. I mean, I think a chin is one of the most important factors, because like if you can't take that shot, things are gonna be a lot different.
Absolutely. And then you have to be dialed in from round 1 to round 12. You can't even give away rounds anymore just to rest. Like, you see that less and less now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even guys that think they're ahead, they don't lay off. The good guys. Have you ever seen Mayweather lay off the pedal, take his foot off the pedal? Never.
Especially when they got somebody hurt. Like, you look at that, they go for the kill.
Yeah. But they never take a round off to go, oh, this will be my rest round.
Yeah.
Like, the top guys aren't doing that anymore, I don't think. Especially because judging seems so precarious. It's so unpredictable.
Yeah.
Right?
No, 100% about that. That's really, you can't afford to give any rounds.
Not one round. And Williams in this fight, man, he gave away a lot of rounds. He looked like he was resting. And the thing, because he didn't have the conditioning, and it came back to bite him in the butt.
Yeah.
But still, another fight that was very entertaining. Like, all the undercards were entertaining. It was a really good night of boxing.
It was.
Yeah, that's a win, man. A win. Sure. And it's amazing how much media. Like, I listen to CFRB in the morning, right? And I'm driving to work in the morning, and in one of the stories, they're talking about the Fury fight.
Yeah, it was it was everywhere, right? Everyone heard about this.
Yeah. I'm listening to Chum FM. They're talking or not Chum, Q107. They're talking about the.
Yeah.
So this is a mass appeal fight.
Yeah, and Sugar Hill said it too. It's like, well, he talked about pound for pound, and it's like, how can, like, they're talking about like how is Fury not on the pound for pound? He's not even on the list, top
Hey,
10.
we're talking about that, eh?
Yeah, and Sugar Hill goes, he, how is he not the best pound for pound fighter? There's no one that could beat him. Like these, I know even the small, there's even these smaller guys, they can't beat him. He can't be beat by anybody. So he's
Right.
the pound for pound
He should
champion.
be. You got it.
There's no such
really,
thing as pound for pound.
I
What
know.
is that? Pound for pound.
I know. And you're right. He is number one. Nobody on the planet
Yeah.
can beat him at any weight class.
Like, remember when they used to, when Mike Tyson, they used to say he's the baddest man on the planet?
Yeah.
Like, that's like Fury.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny, like Dillian White, he thinks he deserves a shot.
Oh, please, man. Honestly, like,
I don't even know why these guys are still significant. Chisora and White. Why do they still make the headlines?
Yeah, because they got big mouths and stuff, and they cause scenes, and they, whatever, they get the media attention. Forget those guys there.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like John Fury's dad said, Tyson doesn't want to. There's nobody out there in the heavyweight division that is not appealing. But I mean, I don't. That's not the word he used, but is appealing enough to.
Yeah.
Fury and Usyk is the only guy out there. There's no other fight. No Dillian White, no Joseph Parker. These guys, there's nobody that's even close to this.
No one's at that level, man. They're not even at the Wilder level yet.
Yeah.
So, like, there's a big drop. Now, you have prospects coming up. Some exciting guy. Ooh, there was another heavyweight fight.
And that was big baby
Anderson.
Big baby Anderson?
Yeah.
Yeah, big baby, right? Yeah.
Now, he's only 20, 21, something like that.
21. Jared Anderson.
Yeah. Now, he fought that big Russian dude who was undefeated, but that dude was not a skillful fighter at all. But Anderson, there's a guy we got to keep an eye on, a prospect we should keep an eye on.
I agree. I think, like, the thing with him, like, because being young and stuff, let's give him a couple years. Let's see if he's still gonna be sticking around, working hard, and and climbing up the ladder. Let's see that, because 20 10-0, he's 10-0, 10 knockouts. The real big baby Miller. 6'4". She's only 21, right? So
yeah.
Like, we gotta see in a couple of years. Let's see if he's still around at that high level.
True.
And who we fought was like 22-0.
Yeah, but who was he fighting, that dude?
Vladimir Turskin.
Yeah, who was he fight? It was he fought in Russia mainly.
Turskin fought Williams Akondo. A lot of fights in Russia. Yeah.
So but still, regardless, it shows you that a smaller guy can take down a big guy, a big man.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. Let's keep an eye on this guy.
Yeah.
Let's keep an eye on him.
You guys, there's still Joyce in the mix.
Yeah, Dubois, these guys. I mean, they don't really tickle my fancy. You know what I mean?
Joyce does a bit. He does.
Yeah.
He does for me. I like the way he fights. But I actually like Anderson more than I like Joyce.
I do too. Anderson's got some highlight knockouts. Like, we've seen his last knockout, and that was on ESPN too. What a knockout.
Yeah. This dude's got potential, but like you said it perfectly. He's only 20. Let's see if he's around.
Yeah, 21. Let's see. We'll have this conversation in a couple of years.
Yeah.
We'll talk about him. Yeah.
You got it, bro. You got it.
So, Doc, we talked this whole session on this big massive fight, and obviously but we there's a lot of big fights coming up now. Terrence Crawford and Sean Porter. There's what else we got there? We got
Canelo and Plant.
Oh yeah, we got Canelo, we got Plant, we got
November 6th.
Herring, Shakur Stevenson.
Ooh, I like that. Oh
Very
my
mouth-
God, that's
Very
a
mouth
fight.
water. Every weekend there's gonna be a fight.
This is like the golden time for this of 2021. This is the golden time to watch fights.
Yeah.
This is something.
Yeah. All right, Doc. Oh, sorry.
Yes.
No, glad you're
No,
saying.
I was gonna say I'm really looking forward to the Plant Canelo fight.
Right now it's gonna be easy work, man. Like Plant's gonna get in 8 rounds, probably same like BJJ. BJS.
Yeah.
Joe Saunders is gonna be the same type of thing. Plant's gonna do good. He's slick. He's gonna do good for the beginning, and then that's he just Canelo will make his calculations in the corner and stuff, and then things will be different. One funny thing that Terrence Crawford tweeted in regards to Canelo, like something like it was about the pound for pound talk and how Canelo was pound for pound the best, and he's like, I never had any questions about how good I was, my performance, but there's questions about him about that meat and stuff that he's eating.
Yeah.
There it is again. So
yeah, good point.
We're always gonna hear it.
I got one last point, one last thing I just remembered. Mark Greeland put out shadow boxing in the ring in Vegas.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
No, but so Breland was at this fight? Oh, it's jeez.
Purposely put out a video.
Doctor, you're cutting out. We'll just end it.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, but you're cutting.
We'll talk about this.
Okay.
It's like you ending a cryptic.
I can't even hear it, man. We'll do it again. We'll talk the last little bit. We out, Doc.
Okay, man.
All right. Okay, Doc. Don't feel free to call me. It's